Right now, I'm talking about being a man, okay? I'm talking about being a man. And as a man, especially a black one, we have to stop saying, I just need to be a gentleman. What up, guys? MopedJet. Why is it called MopedJet? Because I want a moped, I want a jet, and that is it, dude. This episode is going to be very special. Why? Because I'm off the yak. You know, I drank a little bit of that yik yak, and now I'm feeling great, and I'm going to speak truth. I'm going to speak truth like only I can speak it. Like only I can speak it. Why am I in a suit? Because, motherfucker, that's why. I'm in the suit and I got a Rolex on. Or a Citizen. I got a Citizen on. All gold, all real Citizen. Because I just got done doing what a man does with his wife, and that's taxes. We did a lot of taxes. But yeah, what do we want to talk about? Ooh, should I talk about the craziest shit? Should I talk about the craziest shit straight up? I'm going to lay down some laws this episode because there's not enough laws, dude. There's not. There are not enough laws in place, especially in this internet culture shit. But I'm not even talking about internet culture. Right now, I'm talking about being a man, okay? I'm talking about being a man. And as a man, especially a black one, we have to stop saying the N word. Yes, he's speaking facts. We have to stop saying the N word. There's no such thing as taking the N word and making a different word. Oh, you took the ER off and add an A? Oh, you must be Dr. Seuss. Guess what? That's still the same word, motherfucker, dude. That's why you get mad when a white person calls you the N word with an A on it. I'm not gonna say it because I got morals, dude. And I'm trying to be an example, man. I think we honestly need to get rid of saying that because there's no difference. I don't care what people say or think. I don't care what people say or think. The more we say it, the more it reinforces to the world that that's what we are. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm going there. The more we say it, the more it reinforces to the world that we are that. If they see you calling you that, calling your friends that, calling your family that, why would they think any different of you than that? Because honestly, the N word was a way, it was a tool to dehumanize black people in the first place so that they can justify treating them the way they do. So, why would you pick up the tool of dehumanization and then put it on your chest and call all the people you love that and expect respect? No. I'm cooking today. If you say the N word, you are anti black. I'm going to say it. If you use the N word for entertainment purposes, for speaking purposes, even for demonstrational purposes, you are anti-black because you are setting us back. Let's go, dude. It's not even 5 minutes in and I'm speaking facts, dude. But no, seriously, that's always been a problem I've had with that word or with the culture around it. I mean, there's a reason why certain words are censored, right? Like you can't say the FAGGOT word. You can't say that. You can't. Or you're gonna, or you're gonna. I don't think you can say that in rated R movies. Like I don't even think I've heard that word in a while. But you can say that in the PG-13 movie, the NIGGA. Hey, I remember Project X. They had a scene where some little white dude said it, and that's when I first realized this. I'm like, why are we like? Why is that cool? Like, why are we allowing the world to hear us call each other that? To then further justify them using that? You know, because, let me, you know, they're going to say it. And by they, I mean white people. But they look bad, at least, if we're not saying it. If we're saying it too, it kind of helps, not helps the argument, but it definitely doesn't hurt it, you know? Especially if we let Mexicans and African people say it. Like, what are we doing? Mexicans weren't slaves. Africans got here late. So why are they saying it? They weren't even around. Speaking of, let me tell you something about Africans. I was signed to an African. He had me on his label. Actually, let me just tell the whole story of being signed. That's probably going to be this whole podcast. I was signed to a label called HISO, right? It was a small label. It's not anything super big. So I'm not trying to, disclaimer, ohsojosh is not a professional famous rapper or nothing, but he did have a deal. I did sign a piece of paper that was technically a recording contract to a recording company. A small up and coming one that didn't do anything, but that technically did happen. So I was technically an ex-signed rapper. I'm technically an ex-signed rapper. But basically, this label I was signed to was called HISO, Higher Standard of Music. Wow, you're probably wondering that acronym that I just said does not line up with that title. You're right. Wow, you're correct. And you're listening and you're paying attention. I thank you for that. Make sure you subscribe and stuff like that. But this label was very small, very local, and this guy named, I'm not going to name him for real. I'll name him Chuck. This guy named Chuck. He was black, but he'll be Chuck for this story. This guy named Chuck, he started a label, and you know I was rapping way before this. I was known out in the streets for my rap, and he linked up with some of my friends to make this label. Chuck did, and my friends, you know, my work spoke for itself. They're like, "Yo, if you're trying to start a label, there's this kid in town that you should link up with. He goes by Joshua, you know. I think at the time I was just Joshua with no fanciness. Then I was josh.ua. Now I'm ohsojosh. But at the time I'm Joshua. And so you should link up with Joshua. He didn't want to sign me at first based off my music, but when he met me and he saw the clout and the camaraderie that I got from everyone he had already signed, he decided to give me a contract. I didn't know that till way later, but that's a different story. So basically, I'm signed now at 19 years old. I just dropped out of college. Well, not really. I dropped out of a university in a different state to go to my community college at home. So I was doing that. I just got signed. And it was going great. We did a lot of local stuff. Like I wasn't a part of the first couple of shows. I think, again, because he didn't believe in my music at first. Most people don't. But when I did one certain show, it was technically my mom's talent show that she did for a school. And I, being dope, I linked up the label with the talent show to kind of like co-hosted. The owner of the label was like a judge on the talent show, whatnot. I got to perform as the halftime entertainment. Yeah, Kendrick Lamar thought he did the halftime show. Show me a rapper that did a halftime talent show. I'll wait. And don't say me, because I'm the only one. I'm original. But yeah, he does the talent show, whatnot. And so we're doing our label thing, right? But this guy, like I said, he didn't believe in me. And I think the whole time while the label was going, he's trying to figure out a way to get rid of me. Because I did one show. Honestly, before this meeting I'm about to talk about, I did one show. It was like kind of a talent seeking show from some guys from St. Louis that came to my town, and they were just trying to see what local talent in the area had and to pick an opener. So Io brings us to this competition. And what I didn't know at the time, he wrote us down the whole act. Like, you know, we all have different slots you sign up for. He signed us all up as HISO. So when it's our turn, he's telling me, like, you're going to rap first and Jeff's going to rap. Excuse me. I'm drinking, so I got a lot of... But then he said, you're going to rap and blah, 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 blah. I do my shit. Oh, shit. I do my shit. Hold on. What if I just threw up? Wouldn't that be crazy? All right, I did my shit, and then everyone did their shit, and then the people who organized the shit, the people who organized the competition, they come up to me outside and they said, "Hey, man, we really wanted you and your homeboy Jeff to come to St. Louis and open up for our show, but your label owner wrote down HISO, like your whole label, as the act, so we had to pick somebody else because we can't take all of you because not all of you are good." This is right out of his mouth. He said, "I wanted you," and he also he said, like, "If this isn't working out for you, here's my number, here's my blah blah blah." Like, he didn't have a label, but he did have management. But the reason why I didn't really pursue things with him, I remember seeing him literally yell at his artists. Like, he had a 16-year-old and like an 18-year-old, and he's like a 30-year-old. At the time, I'm like 22, 21. No, I'm not. I'm way younger than that, like 2019, excuse me. And I saw him yell at those guys, and he was like, "You guys are signed now. This is a business now. Get on the fucking bus when I tell you to get on the fucking bus." And I was like, I don't know if I want to work with that guy. But I honestly probably should have linked up with him because he was serious. But anyway, that was the first thing that that HISO fucked up for me. But it's all good. We move on. HISO keeps doing their thing. We keep doing pop-up shows. And then we got a radio opportunity. We had an interview with the radio show. We all get to go there. We all had a photo op. But the thing is, only Io... Ah, fuck, I said his name. Only Chuck... Fuck. Only Chuck... only Lacey... Chuck, Lacey, and Sid. That's what I'll go with. Chuck, Lacey, and Sid got interviewed. Now, I don't know why Sid got interviewed, but I'll tell you later why Lacey got interviewed. So only these three are on this interview. Let me tell you something. No cocky, no bullshit. If you check out my YouTube channel, Take It Easy MG, and see the 3 or 4 artists I have, we have me as also Josh. We have BAK. Shout out to BAK. We have Delfino J, and we have Shady Wayne. Delfino J and Shady Wayne were the other people signed on this label. And honestly, no bullshit, us 3, also Josh, Delfino J, Shady Wayne, we were the best rappers and acts on that label, objectively the best. Like, we would perform and people would not give a shit about what anyone was saying until one of us got up there. Then everyone was glued to the stage. Something else that the guy said. He said, if I would have took you, I would have took Delfino J, and I would have maybe took that Shady Wayne guy. If you guys were written down separately, I can't take all of you. I was only looking for 2 people. But anyway, we moved to this radio thing. They're doing the interview. He has me and the other 2 people I just named, and the other talented people. He has us waiting in the hallway watching him, Lacey, and Sid give an interview. No hate on Sid, but here's some hate on Sid. Sid is slow, man. Like, Sid's music is all about getting high. And I think that's why he brought him on, so he could try to make himself look better. Because Chuck is a Tupac wannabe. He wants to be Tupac so bad, but he's not good at rapping and he's not deep. But that's the sound he's going for. And Lacey told me she wanted to be Selena, but all she does is talk about drinking and getting drunk. Don't know if Selena talked about that. I wasn't a Selena fan. But these people do the radio show, and I will tell you objectively, now Chuck's talent was getting us these opportunities. Chuck was really good at getting us these opportunities, like radio opportunities, shows. He got us linked up with an ex-Def Jam DJ to record. Like, he was good at that. Wasn't good at making music. So he was good at doing his primary objective, being a manager, but he could not accept the fact that he was not like the star of his label, that it could have been one of us 3. So he tried to keep us out of the light a lot. Like, he didn't let us interview. They got to play 2 songs. They played the song with him and Lacey and Leroy. Shout out to Leroy. Leroy was talented too. He was a singer. But he came in late. He was just... I'm not going to put nothing on Leroy. Leroy was actually talented. And that's why he was on all of Chuck's songs, because he could actually sing. But he was older. And I'm talking about rapping. In terms of the rappers, he was not the best rapper. It was either me, Delfino J, or Shady Wayne, easily. Um, so they do the radio show. We don't get interviewed. We get a photo op, but we don't get interviewed. Then we do another radio thing that's a little more casual. We all got interviewed one at a time. And I remember he interviewed me and Delfino J at the same time. And then he played our songs, and we took a photo op with him. And then afterwards, he said to me and him, he said, "You guys had the best songs. Like, no cap, y'all had the best songs." But I'm only saying this not to make myself look good, just to illustrate how poor he managed this opportunity. Because this group, HISO, was like my city. We had our city by the balls. Like, there was no music group, music label type of thing. There hasn't been since that got, that comes out of this town with so much force, with so much consistency, with so much talent to make the city look at them. And if if Chuck was humble enough, he would have been able to see that, realize maybe his music isn't pushing the needle, but other music he's managing is, and would have stepped back. And like, imagine if Top Dog Entertainment and Kendrick Lamar, blah blah blah. Top Dog can rap. If you don't believe me, look up Untitled Unmastered 5. He's on that. He can rap. But is he like the best rapper out of all the rappers on TDE? Hell no. It'd be like if TDE was all about him trying to push his album, and he was using Kendrick and using Absol and all the people on there to try to make his rap career finally pop off. That's pretty much what I was signed to. So we had a lot of opportunities like that where we were clearly the most talented, but he literally would not either bring us or he would not show us off. And I remember one time, at the time when I was being a local rapper, still am, I was working 2 jobs, and one was banquet serving for a hotel, and that job was kind of like, if I was called in for a banquet serving job, like if the banquet started at 8, I usually wasn't out of that bitch until like 3 p.m. just because of the event has to end usually at 12, and then 3 hours of cleanup. So I remember that one time that did happen, and Chuck booked me for a studio session. At the time, we were paying Shady Wayne to be our engineer and not a producer, but just at least our sound engineer. And so he booked the session, but he was somehow, Shady Wayne, clearly, if you ask me, he made the most money off of this, even more than IO. Because there was one point where IO was paying him per recording session. I had no clue of this. So he was getting like $20 or $30 off of every recording session. Not that much money, but if you're signed to the label, like, that was, I mean, he was making the most money. So he booked a recording session for me, and I told him, like, oh, I didn't know that. He told me, "Hey, I want you," this is how he talked. He called me up earlier that week. He's like, "Hey, I want you to be aware that I'm gonna book a recording session for you very soon with Shady Wayne, and I'll talk to you about it here soon." And I said, "Bet." I appreciate it. The thing is, me and Shady Wayne, we go way back, way before this shit. Like, we were doing music with it together way before this stuff, so I don't know why he's acting like he's the one who hooked me up. Anyway, he says that, but he never calls me back, never confirms, never gives me a date on what he's talking about. Let me take my glasses off. He just says that. And then while I'm at work, I get a call from him. He's like, "Yo, where you at? Shady Wayne said you didn't show up." I said, "What do you mean?" I was like, "I'm at work." He's like, "Oh, I booked a session for you at 11, bro. You were supposed to be at Shady Wayne's house." And I'm like, "Okay, well, you didn't tell me that." And if I can, I'll meet up with him after work. Like, I'm always down to record. He told me, "Oh, no, he's on a tight schedule. You were scheduled for 11. He told me that he had to work at blah, blah, blah." And then bro tried to say this. He tried to say, "We got to talk because I don't know how serious you are about this music thing. You're missing recording sessions, and that cost me a lot of money." And I told him, "Bro, if you want me to pay you $20, bro, I got you. If it's about the money." And then that made him mad. He was just like, "It's not about the money, bro. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. You're not serious about this. You know what? We're going to have a meeting on Saturday, man. I want you to talk, and we're going to talk about your future with this company." And I'm like, "All right, bet." Fuck ass motherfucker. Saturday comes up. Tell me why this motherfucker tries to host it at my sister's house. Because she was on the management side of things. She jumped in a little late, but I got her in there. She's a singer, but she wasn't on as an artist. I think she was playing the long game for some reason. But she was on the management team. And so this meeting was being hosted at my sister's house, so I have home court advantage. So we get there, and he's like, "Yeah, man. So I want to talk to you about." And also, Lacey's right next to him. That's very important to mention. Lacey is right next to him. Uh, and Delfino J is there, but Delfino J is definitely unsuspecting. But he tells me, "Yeah, I've been talking, and I've been thinking, like, how serious are you? Like, how far do you want to go to music? Like, is music a hobby for you? Like, is music, like, what's music for you?" So I tell him, like, look, man, music is something I know I'm fucking good at, that I'm fucking raw at. If you don't believe me, check out my album that's coming out and my albums that have been out. I'm fucking one of the dopest people that aren't signed. And so that's what I told him. I said, I'm just dope at it. That's why I do it. I understand that it's a lottery ticket. I understand that it's a 1 in a million type of thing. No matter how good you are, no matter how dope you are, it's not a guarantee that that's going to lead to success. But yeah, I just want to make music because it's fun, and I like doing it with the group I'm doing it with. And he said, "Well, I think that you're kind of lacking, and I think that it's best if you left the company." And then my sister jumps in, like, "Wait, hold on. He's the only one with a finished project," which was very true. He signed me right when I dropped my newest mixtape, Tape Terrible. Don't check that out. I mean, you can check it out if you want, but I don't think it's that good. But at the time, it was my most recent project, 16, 17 tracks. So for him to say that, and he had like a single that was not good. And every show that I did, I killed. So for him to say I didn't have any work ethic or whatever was kind of blasphemous. But, I mean, before he said that, Lacey tried to jump in and try to say, like, "Yeah, when I see you do this music thing, it just seems like a hobby to you." Like, so she clearly has been in his ear. But this girl was getting dicked by Chuck. Getting deeped by Chuck. She had Chuck in her throat. So fuck her opinion. And then Delfino J was just like, "Hey man, I didn't even know this what this was about. I honestly thought we were talking about logistics." But he tried to kick me out. He tried to say I didn't have much ambition. And I said, "Look, man, if you want to kick me out, that's fine. But to say I don't have ambition is just fucking retarded. It's just stupid." Fast forward, he doesn't kick me out. Right? We do a couple more shows. He didn't allow me at a lot of shows because at the time I was underage and they were doing shows at bars. His excuse was he couldn't get me in. Got Lacey in. She was 19. She was on his dick getting fucked. But so she could get in. She had one song that was alright that she sang constantly. But anyway, every time I performed, I had fans and people running up to me like, "Yo, who are you? What's your name? Where can I get more of this?" Lacey never had that. Chuck never had that. So we get past them trying to kick me out. We do a couple more shows. Lacey ends up getting pregnant. Of course. She's a slut. And then we get to a crossroads. It's been about a year of us making music together, kinda. We get to a crossroads of re-signing contracts because all of us were signed to a year contract. We have the city at our heels. We have them waiting for members of our group to drop music. Shady Wayne dropped a project. Lacey drops a project. Chuck decides to go all in on Lacey's project in terms of advertising. It was leagues worse than Shady Wayne's project. It's his most recent project, and his last project he's no, not little is his debut project. American Sugar Kid. Look that up. American Sugar Kid. Amazing, amazing mixtape. And I told him, man, this is the project. Like at the listening party, I said, this right here, fuck my project, fuck Lacey's project, fuck Chuck's project because he was working on something. This is the project. This is the project that's gonna burst HISO into relevancy if we really get behind it. If we really book him shows in Chicago, he should be booked for one-on-one radio sessions. He should be booked for as many interviews as we can get. Chuck laughs at me because I'm the youngest. I have the vision though. I always did, but at the time I was the youngest, so he always tried to write off what I was saying as just being a young kid. But this project was amazing. He does everything I say for Lacey's project. Her ass cannot perform without getting drunk. So every opportunity she gets, she just pisses away. Her interview, she's drunk. Her performances, she's drunk. Not to mention, on top of that, he has Sid, who's always high, performing with her. And I think he only pushed Sid because Sid was a super yes man, and he was always high. With me, obviously, being 19, I would ask questions. I would say things are dumb. I would be like, look, man, you got the city by the balls. If you do this right, we can have the state by the balls, and then maybe the country by the balls. But, this is the moment I realized that, oh, I'm not going to make it with this guy. This is the moment. We just got done absolutely murdering a show, murdering a venue. I mean, like, that scene at 8 Mile when Eminem is like, everybody in the 3-on-3 or whatever the fuck. That's how the crowd was. They were all hugging the stage, hype, sweating. I felt like I made it type shit. It was an amazing show. Afterwards, I had dudes, girls, everybody. The bar owner asking me for my Twitter handle. Like, it was lit. I was, outside getting dapped up from 30-year-olds at the time at 19, like I got respect from adults, like real adults. That's fucking legit. So now we go to the after party at I forgot what the fake name I gave him, Luther's house. This boy can sing. We go to Luther's house. We rolling up. We doing what artists do. We getting high, drinking. Chuck is Nigerian. I think I mentioned that. Chuck is Nigerian, right? So we drinking and smoking. I don't even know how this conversation came up, but I come around the corner because they all rolling weed on the island. I'm trying to get high. I hear Chuck going like, "No, but like you have to admit, like Africans are better than African Americans. You know that. Like, you have to know that. We're all African American. He's the only African. He's telling all of us that we ain't shit. After we just killed the show for his bitch ass. We just killed the show for his bitch ass. He could try to tell us we ain't shit. He literally said, like, Africans, they just have, like, a little more respect for themselves. Like, African Americans, they carry themselves like they're kind of more ghetto, You have to admit that. You have to admit that. Like, he kept saying that. And I was just like, this motherfucker doesn't think shit of us. He thinks he just said it. He just said to us, that he thinks he's better than us. So from there, it kind of went sour. And then a year later, he tried to get us to re-sign contracts, and I didn't sign, boy. Because what the fuck do I look like signing with someone who thinks like that of me? And first of all, didn't even put my music first. He didn't put my music forward. So now I am, man. That's half the reason why I'm doing this podcast, why I'm doing comedy, is to get my name out there. Yeah. So that's pretty much the cliff notes of my story of being signed. It went shitty. It went shitty. But we got the we're coming up on 30 minutes. Let me end this with a thought. I was on TikTok and I'm seeing streamers hanging out. Specifically, this is one streamer slash comedian that I really like named Ben Dedon. Ben Dedon is hilarious, bro. I think he's funny. They're one of the funniest people on there. Way funnier than Drewski, if you ask me. But I saw this clip. He going viral a little bit for hanging out with this chick named Willow Ryder, who apparently is a porn star. I think she's a little too new school for me. Like them vintage joints, the vintage BBW joints. But he's hanging out with this porn star. And I saw this other dude hanging out with a porn star. I think Neon. It's like bowling with a porn star. I mean, they're all grown men. If you're over 21, you're a grown ass man at this point. So they can do whatever they want. And who the fuck am I? I'm sitting here doing a podcast in my closet, you know? But stay away from them, you know? Like this chick that he's hanging out with, every time she talks, she looks like maybe, I don't know, maybe because I'm an empath, I could read her emotions, but she just looks like she's damaged. Like, and you don't want that kind of shit rubbing off on you. Hanging out, streaming with, fucking, you don't want any of that to rub off on you. Especially not Ben Dedon, bro. She gonna ruin him, bro. Like, there's nothing good about porn stars' lifestyles. There's nothing good, bro. They literally wake up. Most of them aren't rich. Most of them ain't making it like that. So they wake up in a dingy Nevada, Los Angeles apartment, you know, with some boyfriend that doesn't know if they even want to be with them because they're getting fucked constantly. Then they wake up, eat breakfast, go get fucked constantly by people who are probably low-key on drugs and sociopaths, maybe. I don't know. You never know, man. You never know. It's not like they vet these people. They're just asking them if they can get hard on demand. I think a sociopath can do that. I think a psychopath can. I think that's like the first thing socio and psychopaths learn is to get hard on demand. And that's why it takes me forever to get hard. It's not because I have erectile dysfunction. It's because I'm an empath. So, tell my doctor that. But yeah, don't hang out with porn stars, bro. They're already hurting enough. Don't make them content. All she's doing is getting roasted. All he's doing is gonna, you know, it's not going. But once again, I don't know them, so who fucking cares? Well, this was a fun episode of MopedJet. I gotta do it completely freaking shit-faced more, and I gotta do it after I do what a man does, because I feel like $1,000,000 right now. I don't got the tie to show it. And yes, this is the same suit I wore early on in the MopedJet verse when I was getting a job. Speaking of, that job's going very well. But I mean, like, there's nothing. I'm not gonna tell you about my job. Like, what am I gonna do? Just talk about work? That's so boring, you know. But yeah, we're at 35 minutes. I usually like to make it 30 minutes, so thank y'all for listening to the story of me getting signed. Thank you for listening to my advice about porn stars. Thank you for listening to MopedJet. Please hit that like button if you believe in me, and hit the subscribe button if you want more from me. And eat your vegetables. Yeah.